All right, let's see now. And you know, it's been so long since I did one of these live Facebook videos, but I figured I come on here live, and I don't know if I'm live or not. I mean, Facebook has changed the video screen, so let me see how I can see you boys and girls. Uh, no, I guess I have to stay here. But how do I get to see the questions and stuff everybody has? Anyway, so I'm here to talk about the Keith Kaneshiro indictment. You know, it had to be something big to get me to come back up on here live. And so, you know, those my friends and fans out there on the mainland who don't know who Keith Kaneshiro is, he was our former prosecutor here in Honolulu, and he has been indicted. Now, keep in mind that our ex-police chief and his high-ranking prosecutor wife are now in federal prison because they too were indicted, and now our former Honolulu prosecutor was indicted. There are several individuals out of our former mayor's office that has been indicted, and our former mayor, um, many of you know him by his beloved name, Kooky Kurt Caldwell, may be on a hot seat too, but today we're not talking about that. What we're talking about today is Keith Kaneshiro's indictment. Crooked Keith. Hey, look. People say, what did he do? Actually, you know, I have the indictment right here. You see that? That's Keith's indictment. And actually, what he did was very, very similar to what um, um, the KLOHIs did. Remember, they set up remember the KLOHIs set up their uncle. For those of you that may not be familiar with this, the chief of police, along with his adoring and loving and considerate wife, set up her uncle because he and his mother, Catherine K. Lohan, aunt, was suing Catherine K. Aloha and Louis K. Aloha for actually, stealing their money from a reverse mortgage. But we're not here to talk about that. And so, because they were suing, he and his mother were suing the chief of police and his wife, the former prosecutor, Catherine K. Aloha. They then set him up on a bogus charge for stealing their mailbox. Okay, that's a little backdrop. Now, how's this similar? Keith Kaneshiro was Catherine K. Aloha's boss. Keith Kaneshiro was working close with HPD all during the same period of time. And so there was this firm, I think it was an architect firm. And I cannot pronounce a lot of these names. I have to tell my law students all the time. I just give them heads up. I'm gonna mess up your name because I'm not good at pronouncing Japanese names and Hawaiian names. I'm just not. I do the best I can. But this firm was a architect firm, right? And I can't. MITSUNAGA, something to that effect. You guys get the meaning, right? Where's this architect firm? And they had this employee that they fired, right? And the employee was like, "Hey, y'all gonna pay me unemployment benefits?" So what she did was she filed for unemployment. They contested the unemployment benefits, and she won. Right? They had to give her unemployment benefits. Then the architect firm appealed that to the next level up, and then she won again. And then they kept fighting that, and she won again. And so she ended up suing them in civil court for civil rights violations, right, in 2012. So they turned around and they want to get these trumped up charges on her, saying that she was a thief, that she stole from the company. And so they start donating money, the firm and the employees of the firm, the owners of the firm, some of their relatives started giving money to Keith Kaneshiro after he got elected prosecutor. They started giving Keith money, right, and campaign donations. You got what I'm saying? You guys following this? So the indictment kind of spells out there are a lot of meetings where these individuals will call Keith and say, "Hey, we want you to charge her, this former employee, with theft. She's suing us in civil court, and she stole our money." And there was no evidence she did it. It was all bogus. It was all bogus, right? And so after Keith would have lunch with them, the indictment alleges that they the next day, there was all these thousands of dollars going into his campaign coffers, right? So he has lunch with these individuals about this employee on October something something, right? Then the very next day, there's chunks of money going into his campaign account. And this went on, each time they wanted to talk about bringing charges against her, they would meet. Then shortly thereafter, there'd be campaign donations from these same individuals going to his campaign. Now, some of you already know that campaign laws mean that each individual is limited in how much he or she can give. So what this company was doing was they were having other employees and other family members, right, give the maximum donations to Keith, and so it was an aggregate amount. It ended up being thousands of dollars that Keith was getting over a few years. Eventually what happened is they ended up, one of the prosecutors that Keith had given the case to said, basically said, I'm not indicting her. She hasn't done anything illegal. So Keith got that guy off the prosecution team, assigned a new prosecutor on it. The new prosecutor ends up filing charges against her for felony. Keith has other people in his office help with that. And now she's charged with a crime she didn't commit. I think 4 counts of theft. And finally, a judge looked at it on a motion to dismiss, right? If you don't think that the government has good charges against you, you or your lawyer can file what we call a motion to dismiss, right? And what you're saying is, hey, this case shouldn't even be in your court. So it was motion to dismiss for lack of probable cause, and the judge granted it and said, you know what, the investigation was one-sided, etc. And so that's really what happened, right? There was no basis to do it. In other words, again, this is the reason why I say this case is close to the Kealoha case. And the reason for that is that they being the chief of police and his his wife, who was a former prosecutor who worked for Keith Kaneshiro, they used their positions to charge somebody criminally for a crime they didn't commit in order to fend off the individual bringing a civil suit. Keith did the exact same thing during the exact same time period, starting in 2012. So I fully expect that he will be joining, he being crooked Keith Kaneshiro, will be joining Louis in the federal facilities somewhere on the mainland, where he will be wearing you guys know I was in federal prison, so he'll be wearing that brown prison issued suit. I still have my prison ID around here somewhere, but he'll have his little reddish type of prison ID. And he will be eating beans that have small pieces of gravel in them, because they really don't sift them that good. I got a friend of mine that was in there with me. What's up, Simeon? He know what I'm talking about, Brother Teague. All right, so anyway, any questions, shoot them up on the comment section. But other than that, like I said, it's been almost 2 years since I did one of these. So I'm a little rusty, but hey, crime is crime, no matter what year I do it in. All right, so now how do I get, with this new Facebook stuff, how do I stop this from, end live event. All right, so hopefully, I'll keep you guys up to date. Maybe I'll come on and do a few more of these over the next few months. I don't know. But if you got any comments, put them in there, and I'll answer them the best I can. I'm out.